Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip board meeting. Today is Monday, March 2nd, 2020. We're going to call this meeting in order at 7:34 p.m. Could you call the roll, please?
Yes. Trustee Dalzell?
Here.
Trustee Zielinski?
Here.
Trustee Juarez?
Here.
Trustee McLaughlin?
Here.
Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Nava-Esparza?
Here.
Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Officers' reports, starting with myself. Last night was kind of a rare experience I've had in the 2.5 years I've been in office here, that I was actually on a conference call last night with over 85 mayors last night, 7 o'clock at night. Actually, Mayor Lori Lightfoot was signing in right in front of me, and we actually had a chance to say hello on this big conference call. And it was all, obviously the big topic now is the coronavirus. And what they wanted to do was basically, they had the doctor from the CDC was on there, and there's not much they can tell you more than what you're already hearing, more or less. You know, I've spoke with Chief Miller, Chief Szynski. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk with you today, but certainly they're asking all of our first responders and even like public work people and so forth, but more so where you come in contact with the public all the time. Are we stocking up on enough gloves? Do we have enough, preventative things to protect ourselves? And what it comes down to still is just making sure that we're washing our hands more often. We're using hand sanitizers more often. We're actually installing these throughout the village hall right now. The police department's got, Tom, do you guys have in the firehouse? Pretty much, yeah. More and more of that, and they say keep your hands away from your face as often as you can then too. I did get a message as well that the Illinois Municipal League sent something over. Just to remind everybody that now is the time for businesses, schools, and others to begin preparing for possible spread of this virus. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention officials said at a recent media briefing, specifically businesses can replace in-person meetings with more video or telephone conferences to increase tele-networking options. They're trying to come up with viable ideas to reduce the amount of physical contact with each other. The CDC and other public health organizations have been gradually increasing the alarm around the spread of this virus through the World Health Organization, and they declared the coronavirus a public health emergency of international concern. The Health and Human Services Secretary declared it a public health emergency. So, again, right now it's a matter of trying to contain. There's also I think no one's got any idea how this is spreading yet then too. So there's been 4 confirmed cases in the Illinois area, and a couple right here in the Cook County area then too. So if you would please everyone, as they said, wash your hands most often and sanitize after which, and keep the hands away from the face. We are going to post more things on our social media as well, social media and our website to follow. I also got something today. I just got this a few minutes ago, actually. Mike Frater, Public Works. Mike, you put a lot of work into this thing, but it said, Dear Mayor Ryan, Tree City USA supporter, on behalf of the Arbor Day Foundation, I write to congratulate Alsip, on earning recognition as a 2019 Tree City USA. Residents of Alsip should be proud to live in a community that makes the planting and care of trees a priority. Alsip is one of more than 3,600 Tree City USA communities with a combined population of 155 million. The Tree City USA program is sponsored by the Arbor Day Foundation in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service and the National Association of State Foresters. If ever there was a time for trees, now is that time. Communities worldwide are facing issues with air quality, water resources, personal health and well-being, and energy use. Alsip is stepping up to do its part. As a result of your commitment to effective urban forest management, you are helping to provide a solution to these challenges. We hope you are excited to share this accomplishment. They also enclosed a packet for a press release that we can actually post on our social media and website as well. And again, state foresters coordinate the presentation of the Tree City USA recognition materials. We will forward information about your awards to your state forester's office to facilitate presentation. It would be especially appropriate to make the Tree City USA Award a part of your community's Arbor Day ceremony. Again, we congratulate your commitment to the people and the trees of Alsip, and thank you for helping create a healthier planet for all of us. Mike, nice job handling that then too. You and your men, thank you. I had a chance to work with you guys a few months ago when we saw, that was like a couple months ago we did that, right? Time flies around here. Yeah, but we planted 24 trees over at Coca-Cola plant. We did 12 on one side of the building, 12 on the other, and Coca-Cola brought all their employees out. It was nice to see the upper echelon come out too, and everybody came out in work boots and helped us out and so forth. It was a good day. So thank you, Mike. Nice job. Yeah, so we'll just move to my report then, which you see on your agendas. First, number one is the approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving a second amendment to a lease agreement relative to the construction and operation of an outdoor advertising sign on real property located at I-294 in Costner. What that means, folks, is we approved an agreement a while ago for an electronic billboard to be placed near our water tower, and what we're doing here is we're asking, as much as we'd love to have the construction start right now, it took 5 years for this to get approved, thanks to Danny Tribe. Dan, you've been on this for a long time. Actually, it's been like 6 years. But we did approve a contract to paint our water tower, so we got to get some paint on the tower before they can start working over there. So it's we're kind of getting in their way, which is what I'm asking the board to approve an extension of when they start to work in order to facilitate that. Is that correct, Dan? That's what we're doing here? Yeah. Second was the approval for myself to attend Lobby Day at the Illinois Capitol in Springfield, Illinois on April 29th, 2020, as this will include a 2-night hotel stay with special room rates through the Southwest Conference of Mayors. And that's all I had for tonight. Clerk's report.
Thank you, Mayor Ryan. Approval of the January 2020 IDOT motor fuel tax allotment in the amount of $59,962.06. And then presentation and approval of the July 29th, 2019 special board meeting minutes, the presentation and approval of the February 3rd, 2020, and the February 18th, 2020 Board of Trustee meeting minutes. And that is all, Mayor Ryan.
Thank you. Next, we have the attorney's report. We have Joe Kanker with us tonight.
No report, Mayor.
All right, Joe. Thank you. Engineer was excused this evening. He actually sent me a note. He wasn't available tonight, so there's no report from the engineer. Public forum. Did anyone in the audience wish to address the board tonight? Anyone with a question? Nobody? All right, thank you. Then we'll go to the standing committee reports. Finance Committee, Trustee McGlohorn.
First, I have a request for approval of a list of payroll dated February 28th, 2020, totaling $378,150.34. Next, I have a request for approval of accounts payable dated March 2nd, 2020. From the recap general fund, $272,519.72. Road and Bridge, $5,033.99. MFT, $3,161.67. Pulaski Road Corridor TIF, $6,819.58. Water and Sewer, $649,459.16. Heritage, $13,843.68. For a grand total all funds of $950,837.80. And that's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Next, we have the Fire Committee, Trustee Murphy.
I have a request to hire 2 new firefighter paramedics to replace two pending retirements of firefighter paramedics. This action has been budgeted for in fiscal year 21. And we have the chief to speak to this a little more in-depthly than I could have last week.
All right.
Chief?
Trustees, I apologize for not being at the meeting last week. So yeah, 2 firemen are retiring. I also have a third one that's processing for another department, so I will probably be losing him in the very near future. I have 11 people on my active list right now. Our list expires July this year. It took me 6 people to get to hire the last replacement, so I want to try to get a head start on this as best as I can. We have the schedule already in place for the upcoming test. So in case I have to bump that up a little bit sooner to get our replacement firefighters, that's why I'm trying to start the processing now. I'm not asking for the start date. We'll be talking about that next week, but at least I want to start the processing to see if I run out of people out of my list before I have to move the test date up for the upcoming hiring list, I guess you want to look at it that way. So it takes me at least a month to process a person. If I have 3 people, depending on how many people take passes, it might take me up to 2 months. So I'm trying to get ahead of the schedule as best as I can for when our guys leave. One's leaving in the end of May and the other one's leaving in the middle of June. So I'm just trying to get a handle on starting that. So again, in case I got to bump up our written test for the next part of the process, I want to be able to do that. So thank you.
Any questions for Chief?
When are you looking to have these guys start?
Sometime in May when the first retiree is. And it also depends on when what day the other firefighter is going to leave, if he's going to leave. He's still processing right now, so I don't know the status yet.
And you've got the retirement letters in hand?
Yes, and so does HR has that as well. And after I received them, I sent that request to hire, and that was part of the packet last week.
And the list expiration date is what?
July of this year. July 29th, 30th, somewhere right around there.
Thank you.
And just, we got some students in the room tonight too, just so you understand what the chief's saying too, is when you've got 11 people on an eligibility list and we're trying to hire 2, many times some of those folks might already found jobs, so we might exhaust that list and have to get another one going.
And that's the problem I had with the last replacement is I had to go through 6 people to get one person.
You had to go through 6 to find one.
Right.
Okay.
And that was 4 months ago, so I'm sure more of them have jobs since then.
Sounds like a good market though too, Chief. People are getting jobs, so.
Well, it's not, but if people want to be a firefighter, they're not just going to put all their eggs in the Alsip basket. They're
Right,
going to
correct.
apply all over the place.
They're applying everywhere, right.
Yep.
Thank you, Chief.
That's all I have, sir.
Thank you, Trustee. Next, the Police and Traffic Safety Committee, Trustee Dalzell.
No report, Mayor.
Trustee, I did excuse Chief Miller. He did ask me, he had another appointment tonight from being here tonight. Public Work and Boat Launch, Trustee Juarez.
I have an approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 5.5, Votes and Voting, Article 1, in General Section 5.5 through 1, boat launch fees of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip. That's all, Mayor.
All right, thank you.
Bless you.
What's that?
I just said bless you.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Trustee. And next, we have the Sewer and Water Report, Trustee Nava Esparza.
Thank you. I have the approval to have M.E. Simpson perform a water distribution leak survey for the sum not to exceed $19,500.00. And that is all.
All right, thank you. The Building and Health Report, Trustee Zelinski.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Human Resource and Insurance, Trustee Murphy.
No report, Mayor.
Special Committee Reports, Economic Development, Trustee Nava Esparza.
Just an update. As you see to the board's left, and then the audience is right, there's a census board. We hosted our second Alsip Complete Count committee meeting on Wednesday, February 26th. So thank you all those that attended, and also one resident actually had a handful of flyers and offered to distribute them to her neighbors. So thank you. I believe her name was Barb for offering to do that. And I hope to schedule the next meeting and announce it soon. And another committee that I also sit on for the census with the Chicagoland area just sent out an email this morning just letting us know that we're 10 days away from the start of the census mailing period, which is March 12th. So just for residents to be on the lookout for those mailings. And also the Census Bureau also has information about fraud. There might be people trying to come and door knock and so forth, and no one at this time and enumerators are not being dispatched at this time. So just, again, I would direct people to the Census Bureau's website for more information and how to protect your own personal information, but it's important to get counted. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you. I was, just so you know, too, I was contacted this morning by, Roger and I were working with Gary Perlman with the Kankar Law Firm. Gary handles our real estate, and we are trying to put together the final paperwork for the closing on the sale of Reese's Restaurant. And we ordered an Alta survey. We only had half of that done when we took down the car wash a couple seasons ago and stuff. So now it's going to be the whole property to complete our paperwork so we can get ready for a closing on that property coming up then too. Also, trustees, under economic development, we did approve the, we did draft a redevelopment agreement that Attorney Joe Kankar helped us with, and that has been submitted to Firewater Organization, who submitted their request to purchase that property at 117th and Pulaski. We're waiting for that to come back. We'll make a final presentation to the board probably next week, get ready for approval for that at the next board meeting, so we'll try and get that wrapped up. Okay. And Roger Hopkins helped part of that discussion too. He was involved with that whole thing then too, so we thank Roger. Next we have the village properties. Trustee McGlohan.
First, I have a request for approval to purchase and have installed 2 wheel ejector pumps for the lower level of the police department from Burke Plumbing at a cost not to exceed $22,987. Next is approval to go out to bid for a 3-year contract for lawn care for the following properties: Village Hall, Heritage 1, Heritage 2, the Boat Launch, Firehouse 1, Firehouse 2, Pump Station, and Veterans Parkway. Next, I have a request for approval to go out to bid for the replacement of common area carpet at Heritage 1 and Heritage 2. Next is a request for approval to go out to bid for the replacement of patio doors at Heritage 1. And finally, a request for approval to go out to bid for the replacement of 15 window well ingress and egress at Heritage 2. And that's all I have.
Thank you. You know, we can amend this, and I hate to do this in the 11th hour, but Mr. Frater with Public Works, do we have the capacity to pick up any of this before we go out to bid with some of this lawn care? Do we have the capability to pick up one or 2 extra properties with your guys in the summer?
Summertime, we should be able to with the summer helpers.
Yeah.
I am going to be down 2 full-time employees most of the summer due to workman's comp.
Mike, let's just say, I don't want to just throw a dart at the board either, but you think you guys could pick up like the Veteran Plaza?
Why don't we, we're going to put it out to bid anyhow.
Right.
Wait for the bids to come back in and see, that way
Because
we'll
I
know.
think they're going to make it all one number. That's
No,
my thing.
it's
we asked for them
specifically
separate.
written to be individual line
They are
items.
going to break each one out.
with
Yep.
Very
each
good.
property.
Okay. I know you were identifying her, but nobody said they were going to break
Oh,
them
yeah,
out.
no, it's individual line items.
Thank
so
you.
that
That's
we
all
can
I was going for.
accept
is
all,
we can
or-
look at an expense on that, but more importantly, I know there's some things that we can't, like the people, like the gentleman we have that managed the boat launch. You know, that's just too much of a challenge with a hill, and I don't want to see a lawnmower wind up in the canal or something. You know, but yeah, Mike, just something to consider because that's with the
And we did
breakout.
consider doing it ourselves, our department doing the boat launch this year, but again, being down those 2 guys most of the summer, asked Roger to put it back out.
I get it. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, historically, we've always had the same properties that we just described. They went out and by a service that took care of it, but I don't like anything else. I like to try and save some money. So if we can, let's look at that then too when these come back in. And thank you for breaking those out. We only described properties. We didn't say a breakout. So, okay. Anything else, Trustee?
No, that's all I have.
All right, thanks. Ordinance legislation, Trustee Zelinski.
I have an ordinance amending Chapter 19, Traffic and Motor Vehicle, Article 4, Motor Vehicle Licenses, Section 19-59, Fees of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip. And that's all I have this evening.
And again, so the public understands, it was just a
clarifying language.
Yeah, we just cleaned up the language a little bit in this. What we did was we reduced fees for vehicle stickers for military personnel or veterans, but at the same time, when it came to disabled folks that got discounts for disabled vehicle stickers, we wanted to say not just to bring in a placard, because sometimes those are assumed as temporary use, to bring in a true ID card identifying yourself as a disabled person. There's like a red, white, and blue card, or the clerk's office knows about that, but that was what we did, was clean up the language for that, that's all. As far as what is
Acceptable.
what's acceptable for submittal, right, to get the discount. Next was the IT committee, trustee Dalzell.
No report tonight, Mayor.
Okay. Planning and zoning and licenses, trustee Juarez.
I have an approval of a list of licenses dated January 27, 2020 through February 21st, 2020. That's all, Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Next is the trustees. Does anyone have any presentations, petitions, or communications?
Mayor, I'd like to ask, have you had any conversations with State Rep Justin Slaughter about that House Bill 5065 that was presented by Bob Rita?
No, he hasn't reached out to me.
You haven't reached out to him, though?
That's on the penny a push that was in the paper over the weekend?
Not just that, but also the fees, the licensing fees for each terminal?
I have a meeting scheduled with the state rep later this week. I'm supposed to talk to him and so forth, but no, I haven't spoken to him about that yet.
I hope you ask him that, tell him that we're strongly against this. I mean, it was a unanimous board decision to raise those fees.
Right.
And if it goes through and they take our home rule discretion away from us, it's going to cost us tens of thousands of dollars in revenues.
I actually had a meeting this morning. I was at a meeting with Senator Bill Cunningham, and Senator Cunningham's going to be on the committee that discusses that as well. So I'll remind Representative Slaughter, too. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay.
May I just mention that early voting is going on at Village Hall. It started today. It runs Tuesday through Saturday this week from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sunday is 10 to 4, and then next week, Monday through Friday, is 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Family member voted today, and they said that it is an extensive ballot. There's a lot of judicial seats that are up for election, so vote early.
Also,
Thank you, Mayor.
But you can research online.
Yes, you can.
I was going to share, too, I got a notice this afternoon, just so everyone's aware as well, too, that our dispatch center, the Oak Lawn Dispatch Center, that they do have their dispatch as a new protocol for this coronavirus screening now then, too, and they do have qualified questions that they're asking callers when they're calling for assistance to try and better inform first responders before they get out there then, too. And sometimes it depends on the situation, but they can ask a caller if they've been in close contact with a person with a known lab-confirmed coronavirus case in the last 14 days. They've also got some other qualified questions, and these questions were given. They were given direction from their hospital liaison, this Dr. Sinat. Any relation, Mary Grace? Spelled the same way. So I just noticed that, and to ask the following questions of callers and so forth then too. So our dispatch is aware. They're very aware of the going problem again with the virus situation. And again, we're going to try and assist our police and fire best as they can. We'll move on then to, did anyone want to remove anything from the consent agenda?
Mayor, got a couple questions on some of these. Should we include a dollar amount or not to exceed on item number B?
Item number which?
B as in boy.
B. It's going to meet, we've got criteria, as far as the board has an
Daily
ordinance.
allowance for
As
hotels.
far as costs is going, it'll meet those costs. It won't, not to exceed, obviously, the ordinance that's been approved for
Okay,
travel.
right.
Yeah.
And then on item number M, the invitation bid that we got in our packet has to be determined, but there should be dates in there. The bids are received by, and
Roger, could you speak into a microphone, please?
Once it's approved tonight, tomorrow I'll sit down with her and go through
Okay.
and put the dates.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, then can I get a motion then to establish a consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 1, motion to establish the consent agenda as presented. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez?
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Navis Barza?
Yes.
Motion carries to establish.
Can I get a motion then, please, to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 2, motion to approve the consent agenda, filling in some information. Letter A, as an apple, approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving a second amendment to lease agreement relative to the construction and operation of an outdoor advertising sign on real property located at I-294 and Costner Avenue, will be known as ordinance number 2020-03-1. Letter G is in George, approval of a list of payroll dated February 28, 2020, totaling $378,150.34. Letter H as in Henry, approval of a list of accounts payable dated March 2nd, 2020, totaling $950,837.80. Letter J as in John, approval of an ordinance amending Chapter 5.5, Boats and Boating, Article 1, in general, Section 5.5-1, boat launch fees of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip, will be known as ordinance number 2020-03-2. And finally, letter Q as in Quick, an ordinance amending Chapter 19, Traffic and Motor Vehicles, Article 4, Motor Vehicle Licenses, Section 19-59, fees of the Municipal Code of the Village of Alsip, will become ordinance number 2020-03-3. Again, this is roll call number 2 to approve the consent agenda as presented. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin.
I would like to vote no to item J and yes to the others.
Okay, Trustee McLaughlin is voted yes to all items except letter J as in jump. Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Navis Barza?
Yes.
Motion carries to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Very good. Trustees, any unfinished business? Trustee Zelinski, I was going to say, too, I just was making a note here that I was on a conference call at 1 o'clock today with the Southborough Mayors and Managers Association, and actually the House bill that you mentioned was brought up, and so that will be a topic of discussion with regard to the video gaming. And I had my committees switched when I met this morning with I had a meeting with Senator Cunningham. He's on the Senate. He's not in the House of Representatives. He's on another gaming committee, and not that one though, and stuff then too. So I'll be talking with Justin Slaughter later this week. I have an appointment with him yet too.
Well, also the reason I brought it up is because this is money that we get as revenue for the budget that does not come from the taxpayers. It comes primarily from the state and somewhat from just a select few businesses. So I mean, it's in our benefit.
Kent, you were on that conference call today too. What'd you think about it?
Yeah, they were just sort of scrambling on it. The consultant hadn't gone through it and looked at it. I think what that article had talked about, they were looking more about the each time the button's pushed, but you are correct, that ordinance also has a per game fee. And if I recall, it's anything licensing fee, and I believe nothing more than 100 if it's a home rule municipality, and we have a fee over 100 per.
Well, the board voted it as a just to get in line with all the other communities around us. And there's other things going on in the state as well where home rule communities like ours have sole discretion to do certain things that they want to eliminate as well. So
Sure.
I don't know why this one's different in that aspect.
And that's why there's, as you said, there's special attention being put to that. I think more so the way the article, and you can't you can't believe everything you read in the paper the way it's written, but especially there was some strong language there that went back and forth between different parties. But that, yeah, we had probably 20 mayors on the phone today and stuff then too at that conference call regarding an issue like this. So yeah, we're taking a look at it right now then too.
And there are a lot of, at any given time, there's a lot of potential laws out there. We'll see where this goes, and
Sure.
it's definitely being monitored. There's other ones that affect the village as well, potentially.
Any new business, anybody?
If I could just expand on one thing about the census over there. I know they're going to be starting soon, but as of this week, they're still looking for census takers, crew leaders, and office people. And in my line of work, you get laid off sometimes in the winter or early spring because of weather. I'm in the construction industry, but if you know of anybody that's unemployed and is collecting unemployment, I know that the starting pay for those census workers is $26.50, and it does not go against your unemployment, so you'll be able to collect as well. And like I said, they are still looking for people, so it's a good benefit for somebody who is unemployed at this time.
Trustee Navas-Barza, when we met with the last group that came in, was there, I know we've got the information on here and we were posting it on online, or I'm sorry, on social media, but where was that regional office, do you remember?
She actually sent me an email this morning, Ursula, because I did inquire about jobs because the residents brought up that they were interested. And I'll just read from the email that they're hiring about 1,000 enumerators between now and July, and they are still accepting applications, and they start actually at $29 per hour, and it lasts approximately 3 months. Let's see, please feel free to share information. Let's see, and if we wanted to, we can have an applicant day of having recruiters present at the event. So that's just basically where I'd have to follow up and circle back with her to see schedule-wise if rooms are available and so forth, so that I can circle back if the board wants to have an applicant day here.
They did reach back out to me today to the census, the regional office, and I did tell them they could use conference rooms here on 2 Saturdays, and they're going to use it on a couple of days when we're here too.
Okay.
In early May to help out then too. And between my office and Chief Miller, we'll have people handle the doors and stuff like that. So.
Okay.
Okay. Nothing else? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. We're going to adjourn this meeting at 8:08. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we do tape all these meetings where the camera is faced on us. You can always YouTube this date if you want to go back and review. But thanks for coming out tonight. We appreciate it. And students, if you need a signature, just come on up and we can sign for you then too.